ran 18 miles yesterday and had a good day. Just getting started today, a little later. We just needed to catch up on sleep, and we realized that we're about, what is it, about 27 miles from Hikertown, which is just a little place, hostel, and place to stay, and on our way. And so we are gonna try to do a bunch of miles today, and then we'll be able to get into that place early tomorrow, and maybe rest, and then we're gonna try to do some night hiking. I'll explain that later. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's built a little thing on the trail like they usually do, but we have just gone past the 500-mile mark on PCT and on to 600. Most of the day has been going through this kind of desert section with tons of this poisonous poodle dog bush stuff. We even had to backtrack a mile and walk on the road a short bit to get around some that you just couldn't get through. It was so thick. And anyway, it's been a little bit of a mess like that, but then, as you saw back there for just a little bit, we got to walk through a beautiful pine forest with some shade and no poodle dog bush. It was wonderful. Yeah, we're back into this again, but we might have some more pine trees coming up. There's a few sitting right there. Anyway, we're kind of preparing. Not sure how it's going to work out, but we're a little less than 20 miles from Hikertown, which I think I mentioned earlier, and it's just a hostel on the trail here. But once you get there, there's this big aqueduct, and it's a big, wide open, area for 30 more miles or something. That super hot, very windy. They've even got some wind tunnels or wind turbines. Sorry. Oh, hey, there's the 500-mile mark. Yahoo! Even have some wind turbines, and so that's how windy it is. So anyway, generally people hike that at night, and so we're gonna just get there and see how it goes. But we probably will end up getting there maybe tomorrow around midday or something, and then we'll make a plan from there. Well, we've gone a little further today than we thought, and when we tent tonight, we'll only be about 6.5 miles from Hikertown. So we'll do that tomorrow morning, and then hang around, and either tomorrow night or the night after head off into the kind of the open flat desert for that long, kind of brutal walk where you're doing night hiking for the first day and some day hiking for the next day. And anyway, you eventually get into Tehachapi, and it's kind of a milestone because now you've moved across the flat desert. You're out of these desert, mountains that we're in now, and you're in some new desert mountains. But beyond those mountains, you can see the Sierras, and it's only a few days in those mountains, and then we're at Kennedy Meadows South and getting things together, prepared to go into the Sierras and into the snow. So it's kind of exciting. I still have a ways to go, though. Well, it's the next morning. We are heading into Hikertown. We've probably done 3 out of the 6 miles we have to get there. Last night we found a little stream to get some water from, and then we hiked a tiny little bit and found a nice tent site. Tried to go to bed early. Slept okay, and we're just doing our thing this morning, and we keep debating back and forth. The temperatures are a little nicer than they would normally be right now. Like instead of being in the 90s, it's going to be in the 80s, and you know, it's still pretty hot, and there's literally no protection for the first 15 miles that you hike out of Hikertown across that expanse towards the mountains. I mean, there's literally not a tree, not an anything. So we're just debating, do we wait and night hike tonight? Do we take a day off and night hike tomorrow? Do we just go get some resupply right now and just head out on the trail and just hike in the heat, you know? Since it's not as bad as it usually is. So we'll let you know when we make a decision. We're here in Hikertown. Hikertown. We'll head in and see if anybody's here. Alright, it's about 3:30 today. We're in Hikertown. We've been here for several hours. We have already we went into the grocery store and got a bunch of food, resupply. We've just been sitting out here eating, drinking lots and lots of fluids, hanging out with a bunch of hikers. They're all back over in that area. About 3 of them have already left to start this trek across the desert to the mountains. 2.5 to 3 days probably to Tehachapi. We are getting ready to leave soon, so I'm gonna go guzzle down. I bought a 2-liter of Coke I've been drinking, and I'm gonna guzzle the rest of that down and try to drink up maybe half a liter of water, and then load up the water and head out. Yeah, we're off. Bye, Hikertown. Woo! Here we go. Entering the first part of the Aqueduct. After about a mile road walk, we'll see what's up here. Alright, that's pretty cool. I don't think we hike along this for very long. A little ways, and then we come to, I think, like a big pipe or some kind of thing that you just don't see any water, that we hike for quite a while before it just turns into desert. And not much out here though. So tonight we got to make it towards those wind turbines over there until we find a bridge that has some water on it. 16 miles from where we're at now. Okay, it's like we're leaving this part of the aqueduct and crossing through here. I see big old pipes up there. I think we're gonna end up walking along the side of those or something here. Alright, here's the big old pipe. And there's the sign for the trail. Go right down. We'll be walking down. I don't know if we walk on top of it or down the side or whatever. We'll figure it out here in a second. Looks like it goes a long ways down. Here we go.
I can all
Gobble, 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 gobble. Hey, guess out here in the middle of nowhere, you gotta have a sense of humor. It's been a half hour. We're still on the aqueduct. And I think we're gonna be on it for another half hour. Although it is going to get higher, like I said, we may have to come off it, but we'll still be following it for that one. We've been hiking on the aqueduct for about an hour now, almost, and the scenery has changed dramatically. There are a million Joshua trees in both directions, all over the place. It's beautiful, and that's how far we've come. and it's very windy. Actually, it's a little less windy than it's been, but it's still pretty windy. And thank goodness, because normally people don't even leave out of Hikertown until maybe 5 or 6 at night, just because it's so hot, and also I guess because it's windier during the daytime. But anyway, because of this nice wind, even though it's been in the low 90s, high 80s today, we're able to hike really without a lot of, I mean, it feels good. It doesn't feel like it's 90 or even 88 or whatever. So I think maybe the aqueduct goes underground here. I'm not sure if it comes out or not. But yeah, mostly not. Looks like you see some concrete pads and stuff, but I think it's buried now, so we're going to be road walking probably the rest of the way. Well, we turned the corner and the aqueduct turned into something different. You can kind of hear water underneath here. But anyway, I guess this portion is just on big paved underneath the pavement or something. So, we'll walk on this for a while. It's been a little over 2 hours, maybe 2:15 or something like that. We're doing well. It's actually getting close to the time that we would normally end our day. Have the tent, get the tent set up, and start thinking about having dinner in the near future and all that stuff. So we'll see whether we keep our stamina up and for how long. Hiking here in the evening. Sun's getting a little lower in the sky. All right, we've been out for 4 hours. The sun is just setting. Just thought I'd show you our view before. Oh, look at that. Before it gets dark. It's gonna get dark pretty fast. And we've got, I don't know, maybe 3 more hours of hiking to get to our spot. That might be actually a little aggressive, especially once it gets dark. We may not be able to hike as fast, so it could be 4 hours. But we left at 4, it's almost 8. We're hoping to get where we're going by 11. And it's not quite 8 yet, so that gives us a little more than 3 hours, so we shall see. Hey, the guy in this vehicle, his trail name is Costanza. Woo! 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 I think we are almost ready to get off of this aqueduct road section and start hiking on the trail. I'm not 100% sure, but he just pulled up right here towards the end and said, "Hey, you guys want any snacks or drinks?" Like, what? So, yeah, we slammed a couple of Gatorades down. We each had a banana. He had cookies. He had way more stuff than we didn't really need it and whatever, but oh my gosh, to have a fresh banana and not have to carry it with you, and extra liquid. And I've dumped a bunch of water out of that I was carrying. I was carrying 4 liters of water, and I dumped a bunch out because I don't need it now. So yeah, make my pack lighter, and everything's great. And Costanza's great. Can't believe the trail magic this year. It's coming from everywhere.
It's coming to us.
Yeah, it is.
It's weird.
Keep the luck coming, baby. All right, it's been about 6 hours. It's almost 10, or it's about 10 o'clock, and we're maybe just barely over 2 miles away from the bridge where there's a creek and some water, and where we're going to spend the night. And I'm super tired. And yes, that's the moon. And about all you can see. A little bit of light area, which is the road we've been walking on for 100 miles now, feels like. So, can't wait to get there and fall into the tent and go to sleep for a while. So I know you can't really make it out very well, but each of these flashing lights is a wind turbine, each of the red lights. And there's many more than that. Some of the lights you can't really see from the perspective that we're at. But anyway, we're gonna be hiking through those for a while tomorrow. Okay, we're finally here and very tired. So getting ready to get in the tent and go to sleep. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Well, this is the bridge that we came across last night from the other direction. Of course, we came and across this little stream, and you can see all the wind turbines all around. And we slept right down there by the rocks. That's where we tented. And we're off this morning. We've got to head, well, we're heading this direction, and we're heading off into those mountains. So finally, after the whole afternoon and evening yesterday, we're off the road, hiking on an actual trail. Woohoo! Here in just a few minutes, we will have been hiking for 2 hours this morning, almost the entire bit in this wind farm. You can see, and yeah, I'm not sure, probably done 4 miles or something like that. But as you can see, we're coming up on the foothills here, so we should be in the mountains shortly, which is good news. Maybe another 3.5 miles to some more water. And then we'll see what these mountains are like on this side. Well, we sat down by the stream for quite a long time. And I nodded off a couple of times, probably 3 times, even though I think it was only for a few seconds each time, but it was enough actually to let me feel a little bit of rest. And we ate our pasta dinners that we had cold soaked for last night that we did not eat when we got in because we were so tired and it was really late, and we just set up the tent and crashed immediately. So we ate those, tried to give ourselves a little more energy. Drank a bunch of water, rehydrated, and all that stuff. So now we're back, and I think feeling a little bit better. We'll see. I thought that we had a really long way to carry water today, but Tiger Lily looked at some of the notes we had and stuff, some of the latest information, and said she remembers from when she was here before. About 7.5 miles ahead, there's this water cache. This area on these guys' properties, 2 brothers who provide water for hikers and some things, sometimes snacks and stuff. No guarantee they'll be there with anything other than water, but that's what we're heading towards. Fingers crossed that that's there. You can see we've been climbing, and that's where we were earlier, down in those wind turbines. We've been climbing, behind us, and now we're just kind of making a loop around the mountain here, so or sort of looks like we're hiking back towards them, but we're about to turn away and probably won't see them much for the rest of the day. Okay, way across that way by the mountains that we had been hiking in for a long time. And we came out and yesterday came across, and that's the wind turbine farm that we hiked through this morning. And we've been hiking all through mountains for, I don't know, 10, 12 miles. And now we can kind of see the other side. That is another wind turbine farm that I'm pretty sure is the one we're going to be hiking through tomorrow to get to Tehachapi. If we don't make it there today, which I don't think we will. And you can see there's some mining out there, and there's some salt flats way out there. I think Tehachapi must be right over about that way, over the mountain. So I'll just try to give you some perspective of it. But boy, we sure can see. I don't know if you can see way in the distance there are some big mountains with snow on them. Let's see if I can get in there. I can't see what I can see in the phone, but anyway, you can see those off. So we will not be heading that direction now. So just about to this area where this guy Ray stocks up water. We should be there. It's less than a mile for sure. We've been climbing for a long time, so we're ready to get there and get something to drink. I forgot to mention, for anybody who might not know, I think obviously those big black, chunks of land out there are solar panel farms, but so are the blue ones. All the blue ones that look like water are also solar panels. And from a distance and the right angle, they look just like water, but you get up close and they're just rows and rows of solar panels. And I mean, that is just miles and miles and miles of solar panel out there. Kind of amazing. All right, this is our little water cache area that this guy's set up. I'm not sure what all's in all here, but I know we have water right there. And some decorations. And chairs that look like they will burn the skin right off your legs instantly. All right, we're leaving the little oasis they created for us, and we've made a decision. While we were there, we got a cell signal, and we booked a hotel in Tehachapi. So there are two kind of roads that you cross here on the PCT that will get you into Tehachapi, and we're just going to go to the first one tonight and get a hitch into town or whatever we can do, however we can get there. And then we're going to take a zero tomorrow, which we are in dire need of. It has been, let's see, Thursday would be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I think today's maybe around 19th day since we've been out, and maybe the 18th. Generally take a zero about every 2 weeks. Of course, we took one around 1 weekend. So, I think we're kind of figuring out that maybe at this stage of the game, we're going to be taking a little bit more than 1 0 every 2 weeks. And anyway, we really need it. We are sore and feet are killing us, and we're really not feeling like we're recovering quite as well as we need to and all that. So anyway, that's the plan. So we've got 9.5 miles, largely downhill, since we did so much climbing this morning. And when we get to the end of that 9.5 miles, we will hopefully, within an hour of that or so, be in a hotel room, showering. Oh my gosh, do we smell like dogs. And just get cleaned up and start to try to recover. So talk to you later. Well, we're now on the Tehachapi side of the mountain that we were on. We're heading down, we think, to that road down there. You can barely see. We've got somebody's scheduled to come pick us up. They're going to be a little late, so if we can get a hitch, we will hitch a ride into town and cancel that. If not, we'll wait around for her. But look at all of these. These are just more wind turbines on this side. So this is a serious wind tunnel through here, and we've actually been pretty lucky because I think most of the time is just blasting through here. And in a way, we wish there was a little more wind today to keep us cool. It's been pretty hot and in the low 90s, but oftentimes it's so windy, you know, people can hardly stand up. So we probably got lucky. We just checked into our Best Western back there, and I'm walking down the street to TK's Pizza to pick up something to eat. Anyway, we got lucky because we couldn't find anybody to give us a ride into town. It was too late. Everybody that normally drives was, you know, done for the night. So anyway, we finally found one woman who said she'd do it, but we'd have to wait for a while. We got down to the road, and the very first person that passed Tiger Lily stopped and picked us up, brought us into town. So anyway, all worked out. We did way too many miles. That backfire scared the heck out of me. You're not used to stuff like that when you're on the trail. Anyway, so yeah, we're there. Everything's good. We're looking forward to eating some pizza. I think the pizza's right here at TK's. So I'm gonna go get it, go back and eat, and go to bed.